How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Cowboy Bebop. This is issue number 3 from Titan Comics, and it is a tie-in to the Netflix show. This is written by Dan Watters with art by Lamar Mathurin. And overall, this is a fun issue, and I can really see the series kind of finding its roots. This chapter is going to be one overall cohesive story, but they broke it down where each individual issue kind of does its own thing. So it's like one overall plot, but each book has its sort of episode tied to it. You know, the first one was the Vegas heist. It was a lot about luck. The second one was the planet where everyone was peaceful and content. And now this third one is a wacky chase episode. You're going to get the crew trying to escape with their noodles, and you're going to have bounty hunters pursuing them, and then bounty hunters pursuing the bounty hunters pursuing them. So it kind of turns into this long train of nobody but them really knowing what's going on, and them all going after one after another, even though if they knew they were fighting over noodles, they wouldn't really care. So kind of a wacky chase episode. So it's a cool action-heavy thing. And you also get a bit about the vest and how it works and why the guy likes noodles so much. So I thought it was pretty interesting. As a lot of you know, this book's kind of fallen into a weird position with the Netflix show getting canceled, where now it's the last entries into this universe. And I kind of wonder, I think this plot arc is only going 4 issues, but I'd be curious to see if they keep it going after that. I would love to see them tie off the cliffhanger in this book. And I think it's kind of finding its own feet as its own thing. You know, it's not the animated series, it's not the Netflix show, it's its own thing. It's based on the Netflix show, but I feel with this one it's getting its own identity, and I feel like, this book isn't perfect. Some of the humor doesn't quite work, and it is a little weird at times, but I do like each one tries to be about its own concept, and part of me kind of hopes this book goes on after this plot arc. I would love to see them just continue to tell stories in this world and continue to do stories out of a dying world. That would be kind of interesting, but I am curious to see where it goes. Like I said, I think there's only 4, and this is very much the, hey, let's do a fun chase before we wrap up the plot type issue. But there is a fun twist at the end, which I won't spoil, where you can see the plots going in a bit different of a direction than we may have predicted. But anyway, without further ado, let's take a closer look at this cover. I have the A cover, and this is some pretty fun artwork, You get them leaping through space, and you get the fun pink and blue galaxy behind them. And these crazy, wacky circles. Are they planets or suns or just abstract shapes? I don't know, but this is kind of a fun, happy, optimistic cover. I wish they had Ein in it, but whatever. But yeah, it's a fun cover with cool colors. Overall, I really like that. Open it up, and again, one of my kind of problems with this book, Cowboy Bebop Supernova Swing, and the introduction to the Cowboy Bebop world. I was hoping that it would change. I was hoping it would give us a plot summary so I would remember what happened in the last 2 issues, but it doesn't. It just keeps reminding us what the general world is, and I was hoping it would give us a better previously on, but it never does. There's Ein. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a little bit closer look at this story. Let's dive into the plot. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to analyze the book a little bit, say my piece on a few plot points, but I'll be avoiding the end bit. Anyway, we open up here, we see them talking about Melville and the vest, and here's a little flash to the Syndicate who wants it, which even though Vicious has been introduced in every single book, This is the first time we're actually seeing him in the series in this one panel right here. But he's talking about the vest. This is the creator they meant in the last issue. And we do actually flash back to this conversation a few times throughout the story, and it's kind of a transition piece. But they talk about seeing in the fourth dimension, and how if you could see people in the fourth dimension, they'd be like a tunnel snaking from their birth to their death, and they'd intersect like noodles, which is kind of an interesting thing. You know, he liked the cups of noodles, and he thought it was just a fun gag, but no, noodles actually have more of an explanation, and you even get this page, the epic fiery noodle page, where it talks about how all the different possibilities are like different cups of noodles, and it's picking the right one and having a computer that can see fifth dimensionally. So I do like that they took the effort to explain how the vest works and tied it in with the noodle theme. I thought that was pretty interesting. And of course, why exactly he's talking, we'll get back to that at the end of the book, but that's a spoiler thing and I'm not going to talk about it. But anyway, as far as tracking down the noodles, the guy wanted to trade some rare expired noodles for the vest, and they need 100 packets of them. And we see Spike going to all the different shops, and you see him chopping the apple in midair to sort of threaten this shop owner who's like, "What are you, a cop? I'm not selling any expired noodles." And they get the noodles to the truck, and they actually have a little bit more than 100 packs. And on the next page, they talk about what to do when they catch Melville, and they'll have maybe even 2 lucky vests. Do they keep them for themselves and make big money? Do they turn them into the authorities? Or, like Spike is wanting to do they just destroy them? And Faye's, of course, like, you can't just destroy something that valuable. And it ends on a gag where Spike is eating one of the noodles, and it's like, "Hey, those are rare. We need them." And he's like, "You said we had extra." Although I do have to wonder, where did he get the hot water from the back of a van? I don't know. But anyway, other bounty hunters are spying on them, and they think, oh, they must know where Melville is, and they start to chase them in their motorcycles. And while they're chasing them, we find out it's not just those 2 bounty hunters, but someone is watching those bounty hunters, and that'll be this set of bounty hunters who are going to get in their spaceship and pursue them. So they're forming a little bit of a train here. Everybody is going after everybody else because no one really knows where he is, and they're just kind of chasing each other, thinking that they know where a lead is. So you do get a pretty wacky, fun, over-the-top chase scene. You get Spike in the back of the van eating the noodles being thrown around, and it is a fun little chase scene. And where, just one more page, yeah, show where the truck even gets picked up towards the end of it. But anyway, I don't want to go too far past the staple because I don't really want to spoil anything, but yeah, the artwork is kind of fun here. You know, they're doing chases and they're being big and abstract with their colors, and it's lots of cool, cool colors playing against warm colors here. And I think the artwork's pretty fun. I do like how it's not that boring standard artwork. It's a little sketchy, it's a little abstract, and the colorist here, man, they really allow the colorist to play around with this book and, pull off some fun things. So overall, I thought this was a pretty fun issue. Again, it's not as good as the original animated series, but I feel like, it's trying to find its own way in the world, being its own thing, and now kind of awkwardly is left as the only new entries in the Cowboy Bebop live-action universe. Man, that's kind of weird, but part of me really kind of wants this book to continue after this plot arc. I would really love to see a canceled show living on through this weird little tie-in book. But I do like the idea of episodic adventures making up a total story, and I do like how each one has its own little concept, and I thought the noodle explanation of how the quantum vest works was pretty fun. So yeah, again, Not as good as the actual Cowboy Bebop anime, but I think probably a step up above the show. And, you know, fun colors, fun art. I don't know. I kind of like this book. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This will probably be my sci-fi comics playlist. If you want to see me talk about other sci-fi comic books, you can find those there, as well as the first 2 issues of this series. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.